BodyPoker.com. Gloves supplied by Lonsdale. We're live on Sky Sports, and it's Friday Fight Night. All the officials have been appointed by the Commonwealth Council in association with the British Boxing Board of Control, Commonwealth Representative David Venn. Our steward in charge of the action in his 50th professional year, Fred Potter. Area representative is John Jarrett, and our chief inspector is Mr. Rich Long. Timekeeper at the bell is Mr. Arnold Bryson, and our 3 scoring judges at ringside are Victor Lachlan of Paisley, Scotland, Marcus MacDonald of Twickenham, and Dave Paris of Leeds. Our referee in charge of the action from Doncaster is Mr. Howard Foster. They are the officials. Here are the contestants. Introducing to you, the challenger fighting out of the red corner, wearing the gold trunks trimmed with white and silver, weighing in at 8 stone 13 pounds. 1 ounce, a 24-fight record, 18 wins, 6 inside the scheduled distance, and 6 defeats. He's the former British featherweight champion from Greenock, Scotland. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the challenger. He is John Simpson. And now, across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the red trunks, trimmed with gold. Weighing in at 8 stone, 13 pounds, 15 ounces. He is undefeated, 12 contests, 12 wins, 1 inside the scheduled distance. He makes the first defense, as he is the reigning and defending Commonwealth Featherweight champion from the beautiful city of Middlesbrough. It's Paul Truscott. Sports fans and Friday Fight Night fans, here we go. 12 rounds of boxing for the Commonwealth Featherweight Championship.
Okay, lads, spoke to you both in the dressing room. You both know I expect. Keep it clean, break straight away when told. Both you watch your heads. Good luck to you both. Touch gloves.
One of our top officials for a top clash. A compelling one to start the new year off. Commonwealth 9 stone meeting. Most see this as a 50-50 fight. Certainly the bookies do. The sturdy strength of the challenger John Simpson, the flash talented champion Paul Truscott. Hard a first offence, as you can imagine, for him, but a great way to kick off 2009 for us, Jim.
Yeah, this is a tremendous matchup. I mean, it's a fight, looking at the two of them, Simpson obviously can't afford to lose 2 title fights on the turn. Truscott, although only 22, he could come back from it. He's in a tough division, and it wouldn't be easy to get his hands back on the title again, so it's a fight both guys really must win.
Last summer, John Simpson lost his British featherweight title to Paul Appleby, who was a real hit of 2008. So was Paul Truscott. It is a buzzing 9 stone division. Truscott ranked about 8th, Simpson 7th. That's how tight this should be. There's the jab from Truscott, who's got those physical advantages, certainly in terms of the height and reach. But the strength, the sturdiness, and the ring savvy and knowledge is with John Simpson, who tries to attack Truscott's body early.
Truscott pretty accurate with the left hand, and then the first few seconds, there it goes again. I mean, I think he wants to show in the opening round, he's not a big puncher, but he is gritty. And he's confident he can stand with Simpson. I think Simpson's going to be expecting to go chasing him. But Truscott maybe making a little point here early. He's just a little bit more accurate in the early stages here.
He possesses a slick jab, the former England junior useful amateur Truscott. Volley of combinations as well. Nice right hand. The edge in speed and in foot movement as well. Should be with Truscott. But the beauty of this one, Jim, is he can get drawn in.
Well, I think the point he's making, Adam, is that if he does get drawn in, he can cope with it. I think, I mean, that's it. They're both performing well in the opening stages. They're both right down to business. I'm just a little bit more impressed with Truscott, the quality of his punching, the sharpness of his jab, and wasting nothing.
Looking for the uppercut early as well. And a spot of blood to Simpson's nose. It's a fast, positive beginning for Paul Truscott. In front of all his friends and family from the South Bank estate next door to this Eston Sports Academy. Doesn't want to let any of them down.
Well, I expected Truscott to be much more mobile, and I'm sure the Simpson camp would have expected the same. But he's standing his ground. He's quick. We knew he was fast. I certainly like Truscott in the opening round.
A big thank you to all our commercial vehicle drivers. The world wouldn't work without you.
Good boxing that, even round that.
Welcome back to the North East. You're looking at Michael Marsden, the trainer of Paul Truscott, the 22-year-old in only his 13th fight, but a mature look to him.
Yeah, but a confident look. Michael Marsden was happy, and I think he's entitled to be. Excellent start. I mean, that was the... Oh, we're seeing good, accurate punches, standing his ground, wasn't driven back at all. This is shaping up as good as we thought it would.
Yeah, could blend very well style-wise as well with Paul Truscott, having had 12 straight wins, unbeaten to date. Up against Greenock's John Simpson, a hard campaigner who's won 18 of his 24, but has the experience of title fights. 6 British ones. He's been involved in a couple of WBUs too. Can he bring that into the ring and use it effectively against the more inexperienced Truscott?
Well, Truscott found a very early rhythm, so it's up to Simpson now to break that rhythm. So we'll see if he can do it here in the second round.
Mobility could be key as well for Truscott. He'll be looking for the angles. He'll know that Simpson's going to come to him and force the fight. That's what he does, Jim, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking beforehand. Simpson wants the more physical fight. Truscott wants the boxing match. But the way Truscott stood his ground early, obviously felt he could make a point.
And although Simpson lost to Paul Appleby, it was nip and tuck. It was very close on the cards. So this could ebb and flow as well. Rather like Truscott's win over Osumanu Akaba, which was tight. Not the biggest punches, so this could go all the way. Nice right from Simpson. He's getting closer.
Simpson's prepared to take a shot to land one. Doesn't want to be doing it too often. Yeah. That was a low blow, but the left hand to the body that followed it wasn't.
Yeah, that was a nice shot.
So improvement in Simpson's work in the second round here, and a bit more of the mobility I expected from Truscott. Good right hand, the right hand's working for Simpson.
He's a little bit open to that, Paul Truscott. When that jab is loose, when it's sturdy and strong and he plants his feet, he does get a little bit of power into it. He needs to keep Simpson off him.
Well, Truscott certainly has the edge in speed, but Simpson has that right hand working a bit more accurately. This is a tough round, this one. This is close.
Very tight. There's the right back from Truscott. Accurate. He's been sparring with Michael Hunter and Femi Fayentola. Good class. Simpson with Ricky Burns and Willie Lemon. They're fit and right up for this. That was tight.
body poker.
1 plus 3 more games Sunday from 1. Live, only on Sky Sports.
Let him come forward, son, right? Keep backing him up. You're boxing lovely. Picking them shots. Picking every short rib shots, okay? Let's have a wee look now for his solar plexus.
Danny Lee
Right?
Jr., former flyweight and bantamweight of the 80s, in the corner of John Simpson, saying he's boxing lovely.
Yeah, he was boxing well, particularly in the first half of the round. He took the initiative, landing good shots. I thought he slightly hurt Truscott there, but Truscott come back well.
The red Middlesbrough colours with the gold of his South Bank Amateur Club, and the shorts of Paul Truscott, and the red boots. It's just 500 yards away, and boxing has been his way out. Proud figure in the area, up against John Simpson. He's been a good servant to the sport at domestic level. In the gold trunks, knows his way around a ring so very well, and had a real peak when he beat the likes of Andy Morris and Brian Barrett in his British title reign.
Good little exchange there, but Truscott was the cleaner shot of the exchange. I worried a little bit, Simpson coming back so soon from a cut eye fight. How soon would he be able to start sparring? We know the eye has healed. We know there shouldn't be a great problem physically as far as the cut reappearing. But how soon can he start sparring? Because he's going to have to be sharp to match Truscott for speed.
Well, Jim, he didn't do as much sparring ahead of this one, but he says he feels fresher because of it. Sometimes it makes him stale.
Well, I reckon tennis players have to play tennis, golfers have to play golf, and boxers have to spar up to the fight. It's the most important part of the training, to get the timing and the sharpness.
Paul Truscott has certainly had the edge in that. Right hand again, but Simpson trying to come back with body shots. Could be about defence too, this.
Truscott landed a good shot there, but I think that body shot hurt him. Yeah, he looks a little bit troubled there. You could see the face he pulled as he moved away then.
Was floored in his second fight by Steve Gethin, Paul Truscott. And has been just in bother a couple of times against tough international opponents. The red mist comes down. Can't let that happen against Simpson.
I think that body shot has taken just a little bit of the steam out of Truscott. He'll recover from it, he's fit, but he's just on the back foot a little bit at the moment because of that shot. And you can see the way when Simpson comes close, the way he pulled the elbows in. He certainly hasn't forgotten that punch.
Glenn McCrory made an interesting point earlier on about the physical strength. Maybe that is a problem for Paul Truscott tonight. He might always have to go the long way because of that lack of hurtful power. And he's a big featherweight, Simpson.
Yeah, well, Simpson can't complain because this is the kind of fight I'm sure he must have been hoping for. Truscott's not running, he's not spoiling, although just as I'm speaking he did grab there. But he's standing his ground, he's prepared to exchange. And he's come up with some decent punching in this round, Simpson.
Oh, right hand.
I think that was balanced. That was a good call from the referee.
But it was a good round for John Simpson.
Listen, wait for him to come, all right? Count him on back foot, pal. You know, when you're going forward, he's getting into a turn.
Interesting encounter. And the odds, well, heavily in favour of Paul Truscott. 5-2 on Simpson, 7-4 against. That's how it's moving. Well, that was a good round for the Scot, wasn't it?
Yep.
The body come after a head punch.
I think the body shot that landed halfway through the round took a bit of the steam away from Truscott, but he will recover from it. No lasting damage. That was the shot. Just from that point on, it was just a little drop in the work rate. I thought it was a good round for Simpson, but I have this in the balance. I have one round apiece. I couldn't split them in the second round, so I think this is going to be every bit as good as we hoped it would be.
Only 5 in punches thrown, 5 in punches landed. Enthralling contest for the Commonwealth 9-stone crown. The first defence for Paul Truscott, who won it against the odds when he upset Osumanu Akaba, the tough Ghanaian, in this very ring. And he thought it was too soon. Now he's got to stay at this level at 22. Can he come on?
Well, as I was saying as they were entering the ring, I mean, he's champion, but it's a tough division. And if he were to lose the title, he would have a hard time getting a title back again, whether it be the British or this Commonwealth here. So he won't want to be losing. And I tell you, he's going about the job properly at the moment.
Yeah, with Paul Appleby, the British champion, to meet Martin Lindsay, also a Cash Bhatia getting closer to the mix. He beat Truscott in the amateurs, although Truscott said the decision was a disgrace. That'll be interesting if they meet a really hot featherweight division domestically.
Simpson's punch is just falling short at the moment. I think Truscott trying to use a bit of the mobility that we were speaking of. Picking some nice punches at the moment. Keeping a cool head, which really is necessary here. We've seen him too hot-headed in a couple of his previous fights. Wants to be cool in this one.
Yeah, back to his jab as well, but Simpson gets through with one, much to promoter Tommy Gilmore's delight, and the body shots ripping home again. Oh, and Truscott was wobbled there in the 4th round. Headshot followed up by a left hook to the body, and he certainly, Jim, felt that.
There is no question he was badly shaken by that one. There goes the right hand again. Simpson, with the experience of a former British champion, taking his time. He's learned he has the power to hurt this fellow, so he's not rushing it.
Only 6 knockouts on the Simpson slate. But he's been in those grueling fights. Truscott back with his own body shot. Spitting out the blood. Good round.
I mean, the better punches in this round, the more eye-catching have been from Simpson, but I think he's been outworked for the rest of that time. I mean, he's gone to sleep again.
Yeah, lovely boxing there from Paul Truscott, who puts his combinations together smoothly and snappily when he gets in a rhythm, but Simpson wants to break that.
And he's responded well from being hurt. I mean, he had the edge before the big punches landed, and he's come back well from it. Simpson hasn't pressed home the advantage the way you would expect a man of his experience to do. Another close round. I think maybe Truscott just nicked it, being that little bit busier. Great response.
Yeah, cute right hand as well. Truscott there pinched that one despite being hurt.
I'm getting caught is when he's standing and trading. What are you standing and trading for? Hey? Yeah. You got caught a couple of times there with good shots and you didn't need to, did you? No. Box and move, Paul. Use your angles. When you started boxing and moving, you started picking them off. He'll be busy for the first part of the round, OK?
He's an honest man, Paul Truscott, and he says he does love a scrap every now and again.
He likes to please the fans, and that was the one you can see the action. I mean, he's in great shape. So he threw the effects of the punch almost immediately, but you can see as that punch landed, it showed all the way down to his legs, but his hands were right back up again. Then he come back with the boxing he was showing before the hurtful punch. I mean, Simpson was presented with a chance, but didn't press it home. And as I say, I thought the better punches came from Simpson, but I thought Truscott won the round being that little bit busier.
Best session of the fight so far. This is really warming up as we enter the 5th. Can't take your eyes off this one too. Very good technical fighters in there. Former British champion, remember, John Simpson, and the current Commonwealth king, Paul Truscott. Good match. This is what boxing needs. Uppercut from Simpson. That was effective against the taller man. That's what Michael Marsden wants to see, the jab and the flow from Truscott.
Yep, he wants to press the judges, then get yourself out of there before the counters arrive. That's his perfect tactics. It's up to Simpson not to allow him to get into that rhythm again.
Gets his gloves up and a good right hand and out from Truscott.
I mean, that was good defensive boxing from Truscott, then he come back with an eye-catching right hand. Simpson is putting everything into this.
He's been boxing since the age of 9, Paul Truscott. John Simpson was a later starter.
See, quite often Truscott is throwing some punches and then pulling Simpson's neck down so he can't respond. But we've an experienced referee in here tonight, and he's putting a stop to that quickly.
Battle of body shots too, midway through the fifth. Using the ring now, Truscott, but still open to the right hand, which is making this interesting.
Lovely punching again from Truscott, but Simpson, his dreams have come true because this is the kind of fight he wanted. So can he come out and top in it? Nip and tuck at the moment.
6th, 7th and 8th rounds against Paul Appleby. John Simpson just found some fresh impetus.
And that could be the case here, a little bit of experience, a little bit of maturity. But Truscott in the early stages is coming back, answering everything.
Popping in the body shot, Simpson. Still the edge with Truscott in these close sessions.
One thing I do notice, again, Simpson has finished the round a little bit better, and over the 12-round course, I wonder will that be significant? Will the strength and maturity begin to tell? It's another close round, which I think Truscott has just nicked again, being that little bit busier. Both landing big punches there.
And which style do the judges prefer?
1 plus 3 more games Sunday.
It's him a move. It's him a move.
Welcome back. This is a fascinating start.
It's very close, this Paul.
To Friday Fight Nights. Paul Truscott, that certainly is his best punch. He's in control with that jab, but it's not all the time.
Corners, 10 seconds.
Not when he's getting involved. I mean, Simpson is manoeuvring him well, forcing him to stand and fight, but so often we're seeing these blinding busts from Truscott, which Simpson doesn't always match.
The 22-year-old Truscott just dabs at his right eye. Small bit of bruising underneath it. Not too much damage. Simpson was cut by the left eye in his last outing. That was against John Gicharu, the Kenyan, in November. Low. Howard Foster wants it kept up from Simpson.
Truscott again pulling down on Simpson's neck. I think it's just a natural reaction when he's missed with a punch. It's just a safety first thing that kicks in. Not really intentional, just can't help doing it. It's going to get him in trouble if he keeps doing it.
Whipping out the right. The fast hands of Truscott. And trying to work the Simpson body. I guess the trouble is, Jim, when you've only got an 8% knockout ratio, you know things are going to go long and it's going to be hard.
Yeah, but the thing with those kind of fighters, they know it's going to go the distance, so they're always in the best of shape. Sometimes big punchers can neglect things, you know, relying on the knockout. They think they're going to get the knockout. This young man knows he's not, so he's in the shape.
Is he a touch too fresh and sharp for Simpson, who is seen as a slight veteran of this scene, even at 25.
Well, I think his sharpness is controlling things, not quite controlling things, but maybe giving him an edge at the moment. But no signs of decay in Simpson's work. So he looking as though he can do this all night long.
That right hand, which helped him destroy Andy Morris in their third fight. Lost the first, won the second, controversially on a cut, and proved his dominance in the third, although Morris may have been weight drained in that one. This is all new to Truscott. You know, not many people expected him to be a Commonwealth champion by now. He's got to grow up quickly.
No, that's not the problems when your career gets ahead of itself a little bit. You don't have the experience to back up the position you're elevated to. But he's coping with it well. This is another very, very close round.
it might have been his ventures around the globe as an England international. Bit of a frustrating career, Paul Truscott, but he was always a talent right from the very beginning. Brother Stephen wasn't bad either, but never made it as a pro. Tight this.
A big thank you to all our commercial vehicle drivers. The world wouldn't work without you.
On Friday Fight Night next week, Chris Edwards, who's never in a dull fight, faces Wayne Bloy for the vacant British and Commonwealth Flyweight titles. That's next Friday. We're live from Stoke, 10 o'clock, Sky Sports 1.
Well, if it's any bit as good as this one, we're in for a treat. There is divided opinion at ringside. Some feel Simpson's just in the lead, one or two think it's level. I got Truscott one up. I think you've got him wider, Jim.
Yeah, I've got him a little bit wider. I think he's just nicking rounds, but they're so close you could not argue if you wanted to see it the other way. In some of those rounds, the quality of Simpson's punches may be a little bit higher.
And the odds have come in 3-1 on Truscott. Simpson 2-1. Remember, they were both the same, 6-5 on at the start. And there is Jim Scott, unofficial. 3 judges at ringside: Dave Parris, Marcus McDonnell, and Victor Lachlan. May have it very different.
Yeah, and I can tell you, Adam, 3 of those rounds you could have seen it whichever way you liked. I just thought what rate Truscott maybe had the edge. But I feel now that Simpson has managed to impose himself a little bit more now. I think we're now reaching the stage of the fight which will suit Simpson, and these were big questions will now be asked of Paul Truscott.
Gets a couple of rights in Truscott, but I'll need to work very hard. Swelling just getting worse by the right eye of Paul Truscott, and another right hand gets through from Simpson.
And signs of distress in Paul Truscott at the moment. He's cut over the left eye.
Yeah, that's turned into a cut. Right eye, Paul Truscott. And there's some concern in that blue corner with Darren Rhodes and Michael Marsden moving into John Simpson territory. Can Truscott deal with it?
Truscott not coping with the pressure anything like as good as he was in some of the earlier rounds. I wonder if the strength and maturity, I mean, Simpson had every round who's put everything into this is beginning to pay dividends now.
The head clash caused the cut. Unfortunate for Truscott, but he's got to deal with it. He dealt with the attacks of Osimanu Akaba. He says he's got a massive heart, and he's fighting for Middlesbrough and the people on the South Bank estate. But John Simpson is making it really hard.
John Simpson's walking through the punches now. You can see how important John Simpson feels this fight is as far as his career is concerned. The body shot there. Truscott's face becoming a mess. Good right hand from Simpson. What a turnaround now.
If it stopped on account of the cut, then Paul Truscott will lose his title under British rules. How severe is it?
It doesn't look a bad cut. Also, it could be below the eye. If there's so much swelling, I think the swelling might be more of a problem than the cut. A lovely right hand from Truscott, but Simpson walked right through it. He's so fired up here.
It's a big round this for John Simpson. And the physical strength and grit and granite of Simpson is hurting Truscott.
Sorry, mate. Good chin. Yeah, trouble up. Head back. Listen, don't just because you're a cut on that, don't start boxing a bit frantic. Get your boxing together, okay? Give us a drink. All right, mate. Listen, get your head up, you're the champion. Yeah, I'm all right. Listen, just because you've got a bit of a nick and your eyes swell up, don't mean you start boxing like a daft cunt. Get your boxing together.
Yeah, well, the heads come together there, which is what caused the cut. It's on the eyelid, so there's no reason it should worsen at all. It's a strange cut. I thought it was below the eye, but it actually seems to be on the eyelid. The bleeding has stopped already. But what a big round and what a big psychological lift.
Corners, 10 seconds.
I mean, that was a good right hand from Truscott, good response. But probably the most one-sided round of the fight so far, and it was John Simpson's.
And crucial that it was in the 7th round. That eye looks bad, the right eye, not the cut, but the swelling will start to impair the vision of Paul Truscott. Time to dig deep, getting the jab back out. He wants to keep this title so much. John Simpson needs it to revive and relight his career.
As the head's coming together again. Oh, that looks like a horrendous bruise below the eye.
Yep, that eye is very nasty now for Paul Truscott, but it's the bruising.
Yep, the swelling could be a bigger problem than the cut, because obviously you can see what the cut can't see if the eye closes. I mean, Simpson just coming through whatever Truscott throws at him will not be denied.
Howard Foster calling a timeout. He's going to want to look at the eye.
See, I think the problem, Adam, the eye is closing. It's not the cut, it's the fact that it's closing. There'll be no vision in that eye.
Doctor's in there, Jim.
Yep, the doctor's having a look here.
And the fight is called off on a cut in the 8th round, and John Simpson becomes the Commonwealth Featherweight champion, rather like he did when he became the British champion, beating Andy Morris on a cut. He was just starting to get to Truscott. What a great win for the Scotsman, but you've got to feel for Paul Truscott. That's devastating.
You have to feel for. No one wants to win or lose a championship on an injury, but I tell you, John Simpson had the look of a man in the last couple of rounds who would not be denied. He started coming through Truscott's punches, no matter what Truscott did, he wasn't impressed. And it did look as though the fight had turned in his favour. If this had happened a couple of rounds earlier, you would have felt even more sorry for Truscott.
A head clash caused the first cut, and then a head clash.
Yes, and that was a horrendous head clash. It was low, and that completely closed the eye. You can see the action from Truscott, the way he pulled away from it. Bang! It was actually the top of Simpson's head. Not intentional, you can see them both throwing punches at the time the clash landed. Horrendously bad luck. But I think we could stand seeing this one again when the eye injury heals. And I think Paul Truscott deserves a crack back at this title.
Good while it lasted. Let's see it again. A rematch, please.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, regretfully, 54 seconds of the 8th round. Referee Howard Foster has stopped this contest. Truscott has sustained an injury and cannot continue. Therefore, your winner and the new Commonwealth Featherweight champion from Greenock in Scotland, John Simpson.
Mutual respect. We'll be hearing from both fighters in a couple of minutes' time. We'll get the thoughts of Glenn McCrory and his views on Amir Khan against Marco Antonio Barrera. And there's plenty more from a packed bill here in Middlesbrough, including Newcastle's heavyweight hope, Chris Byrne. That's next.
To win it like that, though.
A wee bit, aye, I'm not disappointed. No, I thought it might have been on a wee bit longer, but at the end of the day, I came here what I came today is came to win, and I won on cuts. I've just got to do to win, and you don't want to do to win, and he won. So just hopefully I'll get if he would, he get a rematch for a rematch. The reason I picked John Simpson was because I thought he was the best out there, and I want to be the best. And he's got a tough head.
John, in your mind,
I'm not going to take that away from him. He deserves to win, and hopefully your fans will give him the respect he deserves. He's a true champion, and loads of respect, man. Loads of respect.
Great to see that mutual respect. John, in your mind, did you think you were winning the fight?
To be honest, I did think I was just ahead on points, but it was just unlucky that the referee stopped it. And as Paul says, I would love to give him a rematch and we could get on again.
Paul, how did you feel you were performing in the fight?
a bit sloppy at times, but I thought it was close. I was just starting to feel as I was coming into it. Just starting to let my hands go and my combinations, catching him with the hook a bit, and I got caught with the head. It wasn't his fault, man. We're both trying to hurt each other, and we walked on head on, and it's not his fault. He's a champion, and all respect to him. Respect to Paul as well. All our respect for Paul.
Would you offer Paul a rematch?
Oh, definitely, as I say, that man, I'd go definitely. He was good enough to give me the chance to obviously fight for the Commonwealth title, so definitely give him a rematch without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Promoter Tommy Gilmore, can that fight happen?
I think so, but this time Paul will need to come into Glasgow, because I think John's deserved it. He came into the Lions Den, he fought a great champion. You know, it's been unlucky 13 for Paul tonight, but like the way I thought that John could come back after some of the defeats he's experienced, I do believe that Paul Truscott is one of our champions for the future, and it will make a great rematch maybe in the spring.
Well done both of you on a good fight.
Can I just say to everyone, can you give John give him the respect he deserves, man? He won.
Good sportsmanship from